Hi, everybody. I hope you are doing well. I started a series called Analog Addicts a while ago, and it's been too long since I last gave you guys an update. I haven't really been thinking about new pens. It's kind of a new feeling for me. I don't know if it's because I've been busy with the house stuff, but I am thinking about some nib grinds. Kirk Spear is coming to the Paper Mouse in April, and I have an appointment with him. I'm really excited. So in this case, I have 6 pens that I'm thinking about having some work done to, so I'm going to go over those with you. And I also thought since it was St. Patrick's Day, I would share with you some of my green pens and just kind of catch up. I was graciously gifted a lot of pens in the month of January and a little bit in February as well, which is probably why I'm not thinking too much about pens. I am feeling really content. I'm, of course, drinking my mint tea. It's my favorite, Twinings peppermint tea. I probably drink like 3 or 4 cups of this in a day, but I'm reusing this tea bag because I was lazy and just put some hot water in there. So as far as journaling goes, I have been keeping up with my morning pages. This is my Louise Carmen Honoré. It's pretty chunky these days. I'm really excited because the Paper Republic reached out. They are sending me an A4 notebook. I'm going to use it as a recipe book for our tiki bar that we are putting together. I've been using my DIY navy blue as like an everyday work notebook. I have a Muji notebook in here. And then I've been really I can't express how much I have been loving this undated diary from Louise Carmen. I've just been using this exclusively for work stuff. This was the video I did last week on different types of journals. So anyways, yeah, this has been also in my daily rotation. This is what I keep my morning pages in. So there's been, it's almost filled up. Tons of entries here. This is my doodle notebook, and then of course my common planner from Sterling Ink. I love it in this forest green, but I don't think I'm going to use this tonight. I guess I'm just giving you a little walkthrough. Why don't we start with my pens? Let's talk about the pens that I'm thinking about having nib grinds done to, and I'll also be able to show you some of the new pens that I have acquired. Okay. One that I know for sure I'm bringing to get tuned at the very least is this Aurora. This is the Framoro pen that was one of the last things I got with my credit from Atlas Stationery. I haven't reached for it a lot because it's very scratchy. So I think I'm just going to have it tuned. This is the Ancient Map series. I love the ebonite feeds from Aurora. I love my Aurora pens. So I do think I need to get this tuned. So why don't we keep a little list of kind of the contenders here. This is just a notebook from Sterling Ink that I kind of got a late start in because I was trying some other things for my ink journal and I finally set it up. These are purchases and gifts in collaborations and stuff like that. So I'll go over some of these. I haven't gotten anything in the month of March, but this is just how I keep track of pens and inks. Potential. This is a cursive smooth italic done by Matthew Chen. It's one of my favorites. I talk about this pen all the time. So sometimes this is like the gold standard, and then I like to model other pen grinds after this one. You can almost hear the scratchiness of it. From Moro. We saw the map that this pen was inspired by when we went to Venice, and it was absolutely beautiful. So this is pretty special to me because it went all the way to Italy with me. So I do really want this to work, and it is a beautiful pen, but it's a little disappointing right now with the scratchiness. You can hear that scratch. This doesn't really affect how the writing looks, but certainly, oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard. So I think this would be a really quick tune-up from Kirk. He has actually tuned quite a few of my pens, and typically in a 30-minute appointment, you can't have 3 nib grinds. If you're lucky, you can have 2 nib grinds and maybe a tuning because he can tune them up pretty quickly. So I'm hoping he can just tune this. I like the medium nib on Auroras. They're very juicy. If he could just tune this and get rid of that scratchiness, I would be really happy. So I feel like this is one that has to go because A, it will be quick. It will be the least expensive of the 3 if I'm able to get 3 done. I just think that I need to enjoy this pen. The other pen that I'm thinking about bringing is my Volterra. I have another Aurora 88 that has an architect grind, and I love it. And I think because I love these pens so much, I'm willing to invest in them a little bit more. It's a weird thing with expensive pens. You would think that you spent a lot, so they should just write beautifully. I mean, that's really how I feel about it. And this does write beautifully. This is my Aurora 88 in Volterra. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this, except I love the pen so much that if it had a specialty nib grind, I might love it even more. 88. This also has a medium nib. And I also think that my Ebonite Aurora 88 had a medium nib. So I'm just feeling like we should mix it up. If this ends up just being a straightforward medium nib that's tuned beautifully, and this ends up being a cursive smooth italic, and then the Ebonite is an architect grind, that would be beautiful for my Auroras. This is the Volterra. I mean, it writes wonderful. It's just not exciting to me. But the pen excites me. So I think I need this nib to be really special. So this is one of the contenders. And if I did have work done on this, I would probably do a cursive smooth italic. I'm boring like that. Or a mini stub, which would probably just be a little slicier, but I do love the mini stub. And I think that is a pretty quick nib grind as well. The next pen is going to be quite controversial. I already know this. And that is my Burgundy 149 that actually just came back from Germany. I got it on Valentine's Day because Jay got me another pen that I will share with you. And this was ready. So when he went to pick up my Juliet pen, which I think I've shared on social media. Where did I put it? I want to say Wherefore Art Thou Romeo, but it's Wherefore Art Thou Juliet. So here's Juliet. She is beautiful. She writes beautifully. She is a medium nib. I'm going to show you really quickly. I had the red Verona ink in here, but this is a great medium nib. So no bells and whistles, but really a wonderful writing experience. And this is my first classique style from Montblanc. I just love everything about this pen. I love the red star. I love the gold trim. I love the C right here. I just noticed that. That must be for Capulet, for Juliet's family name. I love the etching here and the cap. It's just so gorgeous. And it's also down here. It almost looks like bobbed wire down here for sure. Love this pen. It's just got a little bitty nib, but it's gorgeous. So that was a huge surprise that Jay gave me for Valentine's Day. So I've been really enjoying this. It was inked up with red ink for a while, and I just switched it over. I don't know what this is for ink. Oh, I probably have it written down. See, this is why I have to write things down. Montblanc, Classique Juliet, medium ink, Scribo, Classico, Sepia. Thank goodness that I write these things down because I would never remember. So when I got Juliet, I was also super excited to open up my new Montblanc. I was so excited to get this pen. When you're in store and testing the pens at the boutique, you're able to get like a fresh draw of ink. So you pick whatever color you want. The nib is just loaded with ink. So it's very easy to have a successful writing experience in store. But then when I got home, I noticed that on the medium nib, it was skipping on the diagonal. I love the 149. It's my favorite model in the Montblanc lineup. Just for comparison, this is the size difference between the 149 and the Classique. And the nib difference. I do have a little Montblanc collection, so I'm happy to have them in all different sizes. But I mean, that is just crazy. Look at that. The 149 nib is amazing. It now has an oblique broad. And an oblique is kind of on an angle. When I have worked with nibmeisters, I've been told that I do turn my nib in a little bit when I write. So I wanted to try an oblique. If you get a 149, you can have the nib swapped out. And I went in store, and the oblique broad is the nib that I wanted to try. You can have an extra fine, fine, medium, broad. You can get an oblique medium, an oblique broad, an oblique double broad. There's such an assortment of what you can get. And they send it out to Hamburg. They swap the nib free of charge, and then it comes back. So this is after that appointment, which I haven't even done a video on that because life's been crazy. I'm going to write it here, because this is one that I'm thinking of too. I don't think this is skipping at all. I think it has a sweet spot. So I think you have to hold it a certain way, and then it writes beautifully. I mean, this is gorgeous too. Now it's really behaving. It's so smooth. So this is an oblique broad, and I'm also thinking about cursive smooth italic on this. What do you guys think? Should I just live with the oblique broad for a while? I mean, there's no skipping. It's writing wonderfully. Just sometimes I feel like if I don't hold the pen on the correct angle, which I knew this going in. I mean, the nib is fine. It's excellent. If I hold it straight, it doesn't write quite as well. I'm trying to see if I can... No, it's actually not giving me any trouble right now. Nib work or no? What do you guys think? Here is my downstroke. This is my side stroke. So you definitely see the line variation here. This is when I'm holding the nib kind of upright. This is when I turn it a little bit. So I don't know if it's just a matter of getting used to this. I love this color so much. The nib is beautiful. It's a piston fill. I want to pick this up, and I want it to be one of my favorite pens to write with. What would you guys do? It was free to have the oblique nib put in there, so maybe I should just live with it for 6 months, and then if I still am thinking about a nib grind, I could always bring this to Stationery Fest, to Chicago in May, even as early as that. I could bring it to the Commonwealth Pen Show in September. I have a feeling this will probably get work done at some point this year, but should I just enjoy the oblique for now? Let me know what you think. This is one of the pens that was sent to me from Appleboom. This is the cream Pelikan M600 with rose gold trim. Do I not have any ink in there? Oh, I have a little bit left. The reason I'm thinking about having some nib work done on this is because I don't think any of my Pelikans have had a custom grind. And also, here's my Juliet, and it's somewhat similar. I mean, they are definitely a different color, but they're similar in size and vibe. And I don't plan on doing anything to this pen because this medium writes so nicely. Appleboom sent me this in a broad nib, and I also have the M600 in red and white in a broad nib. So I thought, well, this could be a fun opportunity to have a different nib grind on here. Or alternatively, I got this M800 from Goldspot. They had this at an amazing price on Fountain Pen Day. So I picked this up. It writes beautifully, but I have a couple M800s. This is a medium nib. So let's write these down as options. The Pelikan M800 medium. I have the M800 with the brown black, and I think that's a fine nib. I also have an M800 that I got at an Atlas sale. It's blue and black, and that's an extra fine. And Kurt Spear actually did tune that last year at the Paper Mouse. So maybe I should just leave this because I don't have a medium nib in the M800. But I should have this one done because I do have an M600. I just answered my own question. Okay, I think this is running out of ink. I don't think this pen is skipping. So Pelikan M600. I think the ink in here is sesame oil. And it's my second one. Maybe we do a cursive smooth italic in this, or a mini stub. You can bring it down. Mini stub. Or what else? What would be a fun one? I could do a reverse architect. That would be fun. One of the other things that I like to do when I see a nibmeister is bring a few pens. And I say, these are my pens. These are the ones I'm thinking about working on. Is there any one in particular that inspires you? Like maybe he loves working on Montblancs. I did this with him last year. My Sailor Every Rose Has Its Thorn needed a complete nib repair. I dropped that. The M800 just needed to be cleaned up a little bit and tuned. And I don't know if I brought a third pen last year, but I like to give the nibmeister a choice too. If a nibmeister is motivated by a pen and they are excited to work on it, then I just feel like that can only be to your benefit. And I'm pretty flexible. I plan on going to a few shows this year. Instead of buying so many new pens this year, I'm really focusing on the pens that I have and just really reaching for the pens that bring me a lot of joy. I already did a wave where I sold a lot of pens and I'm totally geared up to do another one. I just am so content right now. This is the Ambra that Gold Spot sent me, and boy, is this pen so beautiful. This pen does show a lot of fingerprints, but I love it so much. Okay, so this is a medium flex nib, and I love this pen so much that I want it to be more of an everyday writer. So this is me not putting any pressure here. It's already juicy. This also has the sepia ink. This is a broad nib above it. This is pretty broad here. But do I want it to just be a little bit tighter? So maybe he could just bring this in a little bit. I don't have a medium flex other than this pen. I have a fine flex and I have a broad flex, but maybe if I had this worked on, it could just be this incredible everyday pen. I'm thinking maybe these three would be the ones if I had to pick. This will just be a quick, like hopefully just clean this up so that scratchiness goes away. This could be a fun nib grind because we have a lot of tipping because this is a broad nib, and I would be pretty open to any suggestions for this. I also think this is a nice pen that can be an everyday writer. It's just very classic. And I'm thinking the same with this pen. I would love for this to be more of an everyday writer. So maybe I will bring these, but I will also, so I'm leaning towards these, but I will also bring these because I already have a specialty nib grind on one of my Volterras, on one of my Auroras. And then if this one gets cleaned up, this is a perfectly decent writer. I'll table this until another visit and I'll see what he says. If he seems motivated by the 149, I would gladly hand this over and see what magic he can work. The only other pen that I was considering getting a nib grind done to is one of my Colotinos because I have a serious Colotino addiction. I love these pens and I'm an affiliate for Top Drawer, and there's a Top Drawer down the street from me in Boston. I have visited Top Drawer in New York City. There was somebody who for a short time was selling Colotinos secondhand for a really good price, and it was on Poshmark or something like that, and I was able to pick up a few at really great prices. He's not even on Poshmark anymore, but now I have this beautiful collection, and they are all medium nibs. They're medium Schmidt nibs, and I would love it if I could take one of my favorites, like I love this green one, brought this for a nib grind and just did something interesting, and then you can just twist this off and you can put it on any of the bodies. So if I had one nib grind done to a single Colotino, I could have this huge variety where I could put that nib on any of my Colotinos and have this wonderful writing experience. So I'm gonna put number 7 here because who knows, maybe I could get a second appointment with Kirk and go back on Saturday. This is how most of them write. I will say there is a little bit of variation from pen to pen. Even though it's a medium nib, it's a medium Schmidt nib, they don't always write the same way. So this seems to be writing a little bit on the fine side. So this is a Schmidt nib. Did I spell that properly? These write so nicely. I mean, no complaints with any of these. I just think it would be fun if I had a nib grind done to one of them and then I could just play around with all of them. Do you think this should bump one of the other ones just because it has such potential to be used with so many other pens? That's kind of exciting too. If you haven't tried the Colotino, I do have a code, and the top drawer code is 20% off. I don't know any codes that are good for 20% on everything on the website. And that includes their Paper Republic line as well, which is fantastic. And even if you don't use my link, I'm pretty sure they are doing, I think it's 10 or 15% off if you buy 2 Colotinos. Yeah, they're just a steel nib, but I think the engineering of these pens is amazing. So anyways, that's the last one. So those are my nib work potential. I would love to hear what you guys think. Okay, I'm going to go wash my hand real quick because that is driving me crazy. And then I'm going to show you some of my green pens. This is one of my very favorite pens that I've had in a while, and it's not as expensive as some of the pens I've shared with you today. This is the new Momento Magico from Leonardo. I don't know how new it is. It's been on my wish list for a while. I believe the way to say it in Italian is foglia, and it means leaf. The surprise about this pen when I opened it up was all of the brown swirls. You know, I love brown, and I've been loving green. I could not believe the amount of green pens that I had. I've been using this pen over and over. It's a steel nib. It is a fine nib, and it just makes for a great journaling pen. So when I reflect back on my morning pages, I use this pen so many times. I think the past couple of days. Oh, I used this 2 days in a row. And oh gosh, I just love it. And here's the ink. The Nobiru from Sailor. It's a Sailor Magno color, but so many greens work with this. I have a really dark green from Montblanc that is like a heritage green that works really well. It's like a dark green. You can use brown in here, but I've been just absolutely loving this pen. Thank you so much to Apple Boom for sending this to me. This was one of my favorites. I've been using it so much. So nice. These are the moments when I'm like, you know, some pens are so expensive, and then you have something like this. I mean, it's not inexpensive, but by some standards, I mean, like this is probably 7 times the price of this. Not probably, it is, in fact, maybe 6 times the price of this. Let me know if you've tried this yet and how your swirl is. I was surprised by how much brown I had, but look at that, beautiful. It's almost like a walnut brown. It's so pretty, so very pretty. And you do have an ink window here, and it's also a piston fill. So it's a really nice pen. You can also get silver trim. This is kind of like that real yellowy gold. I'm more of a fan of like the champagne gold or a subtle gold, but on this pen, I think it really works because I love brown and gold and green together. And this is probably my favorite Momento Magico. I think it's gorgeous. So let's look at some other green pens, shall we? I'm just going to close this, and then we'll just line them up here. So we already saw my Pelikan in the transparent green, M800. Actually, I can't really see the pens too well on this. I'll use this, but I know I have a lot more. Here's an M800 in green, which is so pretty. Here is the Matcha pen from Wancher. This is a pen that was on my wish list for such a long time. I did a little PR for Wancher, and they sent me one of their really budget-friendly pens, this blueberry pen. This pen, I think, was under $50, and it's a beautiful writer. And when they sent this to me, I'm like, could I also buy the matcha since you're sending me this blueberry pen? So that's when I bought this, and I love it. I wasn't getting along with this pen at first. Sometimes I don't love Sailors right out of the box. I love the Sailor feedback. I don't know. I feel like the nib, I need to break it in a little bit. So when I first got this, I felt like I wish I had gone up a size in the nib. I got medium fine, and I could have gotten medium, but now I love it. I'm so happy that I have the medium fine, and I love that the grip section is this beautiful vanilla. And if you look closely at the body of the pen, there's a real subtle sparkle, and it's just gorgeous. So love that green pen. Also from Apple Boom, I purchased this on Black Friday or Fountain Pen Day. This is the Scribo Feel The feel is the faceted. The Saragossa is the Ladata, smooth sides. But I got the Scribble Feel. This is an older model, but it was on sale for Fountain Pen Day. And I got it at a relatively good price for Scribble. Scribbles are painfully expensive, but that is the Verde Bosco, and it's a real lovely olive green, like a pearlescent olive. So really beautiful, I think. I'm not even looking to see if I'm in frame or where I am. Here is one of my favorite, most affordable green pens. This is the Asfine. Is this the P126, I believe? This is the Leonardo dupe from Asfine. So you can pick one of these up for around $30. I will compare it to the Momento Magico. If you are unfamiliar, look at how similar these pens are. This one's around 200. This one's around 30. Both steel nibs. This one writes like a dream. I think this is a medium nib. I love Asfine pens. I have a lot of them in green too. So Asfine. I mean, look at how juicy this one is. This is a medium. Such a great writer. I love my Asfine pens. So there's this one, beautiful in the green lineup here. Here's another Asfine pen. I don't even know the name of this one. I'm so sorry, but it's really beautiful. And it has a number 8 nib. Number 8, is that really fine? That says fine. Well, this is very juicy for a fine. These Asfine pens are every bit a great writer as my expensive pens. They blow my mind. The only one I haven't been overjoyed with, I will share with you because it's also green. I love the white and the marble. I love the contrast of this pen. But for whatever reason, this one just is not as comfy. I think the barrel where I hold it right here, I guess if you compare these two, they're kind of similar, but maybe because the grip section is back here, there's something about this pen that is not comfy to me. And it's not as good of a writer. And there's not much ink in here either. So this is one that I'm going to sell. I'm not reaching for it. And I love so many of my Asfine pens. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell that one. Here's another green pen. This is a pen that was limited edition. This is called Lion's Rock. And this was an exclusive, again, Leonardo Momento Magico from Muse Pens. I got this, I think, in 2023. These two are Leonardo Momento Magicos, and this is a dupe. All beautiful. The cool thing about this is when I purchased this one, they only had a broad nib left in this limited edition one. And I really wanted a smaller nib, so they offered to do a custom nib grind on it for me. This may have been one of my very first nib grinds. They have their Muse logo here, and over on the back here, it's numbered, it looks like 95 or 97 out of 100. This is juicy too. Broad, cursive, smooth, italic. So there's a lot of line variation here. This pen sometimes doesn't always perform, but again, the more I use it, the better it gets. Sometimes pens just need love. Write with them quite a bit, and sometimes they will surprise you. I keep this micro mesh. This is 1.0 micron Mylar paper, and I will just run my pens over this sometimes. You see all of my handiwork there, and this will smooth things out. It's super fine. I think some of the micro mesh you can get is stronger than this. I prefer this just because it's very, very fine. I don't want to overdo any of my pens, but sometimes I will just play around with this. It makes a big difference in how smooth my pens write. I have to say this pen right here is underrated. This I got on Amazon in a 3-pack. I just recently, this is the problem though, it does dry up pretty quickly if you're not using it. But these are 3 for $12 and change. And they are such beautiful writers, they just dry up pretty easily. It's a little bit like the Jinhao 10 issue. I don't think the sealing is great with this. It's a metal cap and a metal closure. Not my favorite, but it's really comfortable. This is only maybe $4.50 when you buy it in a 3-pack. And I think if you buy it on its own, it's like $8. And it's a really great writing experience. And I love the wooden finish. It is a cartridge converter fill. It comes with the cartridge converter, and it also comes with several just cartridges full of ink that you can pop in here. If you keep this in your rotation, it will not disappoint. In fact, I think if I just stored it like this instead of this way, I don't think I'd have an issue with it. But you saw, like, I dipped it, and I actually think that the ink inside is what you're seeing, because this Nobiro ink is much lighter, and you're seeing a much darker ink, which is what I put in here. I think I put Montblanc ink in here. So you're seeing that heritage green, and it is such a good writer. It keeps up. Amazon. And they have all different colors. I have an aunt who's just recently gotten into fountain pens, and 2 cousins. I bought the 3-pack and I gave them each one. What I love about these pens, they come in a variety of colors. You can get like a red, a black, a nice dark brown, the green, one that leans a little rust, I believe. They all write beautifully. But I love that they're wood grain. You know, have you ever been curious about a wood grain pen, but maybe you haven't found one that you liked enough to spend a lot of money? This is amazing. $12 for a 3-pack. Give one to a friend and just keep it by your desk so you can ink it up frequently. Oh, this is a beautiful pen. I also got from Apple Boom. This was not gifted to me, but I bought this. I'm not even sure if it's inked up. No, this is Sailor. Is this like the mochi candy? This was from the candy series, and I just loved this mossy green with this blush pink. Just like the Wancher, it has a very, very subtle sparkle. I think it's even more subtle. It's almost like a greenish gray or like a sagey. It's just beautiful. I love it in my lineup here. Lots of green love here. I'm going to show you a couple more. So this is the Taiwan 30th anniversary Vanishing Point from Pilot. This is one that's pretty hard to find now on the secondhand market. Funny enough, I got this when I got this from Muse Pens, and this one was a special for Black Friday. So I made the most of that purchase, and I bought both of these at the same time. So this is now a little bit older. One of my other favorite Vanishing Points is the Harbor Mint. This is in the Decimo, also in the green family. This one has a broad nib, and the Vanishing Point broad nib is one of my faves. I also wanted to share that I added a Jinhao 20 to my collection, and I got this one in green. So again, if you are new to fountain pens, these Vanishing Points are highly collectible. The price is rising by the second. I think this on the secondhand market will probably go for, I don't know, I'm guessing $600. This is like $18 or $19 on AliExpress. And it's a great writer. Again, you got to watch out for that dry out, but you can't have everything. Kind of get what you pay for in a sense. But I think that this writing experience is so good. If you want to try out the Vanishing Point style, I really recommend the Jinhaos still. I love that I have these pens in my collection, but I would not purchase these again. It would have to take a really, really, really special Vanishing Point for me to invest in more. I have a few others. These are just my green ones, and I love my Vanishing Points. They are among my favorite pens. If I put this one aside, then these two are more comparable in size. These are the Decimos, which are slightly thinner. This might be slightly chunkier than the Decimo, but I love it. I love this green too. Love it. Love, love. Okay, so now we're moving over here because we have a lot of green pens. This is one of my newest Colotinos. This one was just released. I have this one in black, and this is the new green, and it's stunning. Stunning. These never dry out. I have blue ink in there. I think I just used the cartridge that was in here. Okay, a couple more green pens that are budget-friendly. More budget-friendly. This is the TWSBI Matcha Green, and this is the Irish Green from TWSBI. I got this in an Atlas sale. I don't like the nib on this. If I don't work on this one, I'm going to have to get rid of it because it's an extra fine, and it's just not agreeing with me. I love the black-coated nibs. This nib writes beautifully. Love this one. I I have my tried and true Kaweco. This is in the olive with a little gold clip. I like pens at every price point. I am not a pen snob. Like, I love my Montblancs and my Scribos, but I honestly get so much enjoyment out of pens at every price point. Sometimes I get more enjoyment out of more budget-friendly pens because you realize that less expensive does not equal less quality, oftentimes. And in the same thing, more expensive does not equal better writing experience. You just gotta keep trying and see what you like. I guess I'll end with this. I think I may have a couple more green pens. Oh, I have this green one from Lamy. This is a Lamy AL. Pretty, another budget friendly. And this is Sea Glass from Esterbrook. Love my I love my Esterbrook pens, but I don't have a ton in green. So this is Sea Glass. And I believe this was gifted to me from the company when I started working with them. I do live shows for them occasionally on an app called Whatnot. They wanted to make sure I had every pen in their core line. And Sea Glass was one that I didn't have. So this is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. And I believe that is a broad nib. Let me see. Yes, this is a broad. It almost looks like I might have that Nibiru in this too, because I love that ink. Okay, I think I'm going to call it. I feel very lucky for the collection that I have. I think it's easy to be content when I've had years to explore and collect, but I'm definitely at a point where I'm not looking for a lot of new pens. I'm just really enjoying what I have and very excited to bring a few to a nibmeister to see what we can make of these pens. I will say I tend to bring more expensive pens to have nib work done. I do think that I will eventually bring a Colotino. I also think it would be fun to maybe get a fun nib grind on a TWSBI, like something like this. But nib grinds can be upwards of like $75, and this is like a $50 pen. The funny thing about TWSBIs is they have one of my favorite stub nibs. I have a Diamond 580 with a stub nib, and it is such an incredible writer. So I think I would probably just tune this or sell it. This is my collection. This is my update. I miss you guys. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a fun St. Patrick's Day. This is probably going to go live a day or two after St. Patrick's Day. Wanted to share my spring green haul with you. Some of these pens are new, like this beautiful one from Apple Boom. Thanks again to Apple Boom for your generosity. And then some of them are OGs. Oh, and that's Jay calling. I will talk to you guys later.